I've been able to get 4.0 GPA semesters consistently in the best university in my country and one of the best universities in the world. And I did this by designing my lifestyle in order to become a high performance student. And so if you watch this entire video, you're gonna learn exactly why the thing that might be holding you back from getting good grades, getting that 4.0 GPA or that A+ on your classes is your diet. There's only a few things that I hear from people that can actually get to my head and piss me off. But one of the things that does irritate me is when people don't really correlate diet with brain performance. Because if I was to tell you, okay, what could be one thing that could differentiate between a good athlete and a bad athlete? One of the things could be their diet. Probably the better athlete eats better than the bad athlete, right? Same thing with bodybuilder. He designs his diet in order to get extra carbs, extra protein, perfectly timing when he has the protein, what type of protein he has, pre-workout, post-workout. And so yeah, everyone agrees on that. But when it comes to relating your diet to how your brain performs, how you perform on genuine IQ requiring tasks, such as a student or, in your career, if you're working an office job, or you're an entrepreneur, you own a business, and you need to do work on your laptop. But no one thinks of diet as a way to optimize your work, because everyone has this notion that your diet only really affects how you look, your body, but also how you perform. But if your brain is also inside your body, shouldn't it also be using the same exact nutrients that the rest of your body gets? And so if you don't give your body the nutrition that it needs to perform, isn't it likely that you're not giving your brain the nutrients it needs to also perform? And so if you seriously do have this notion where it's if I eat burgers and pizza, I'll be fine. I'm not going to the gym or something, so I don't need to eat properly. I don't need to eat healthy. As long as I just study hard, then I'll get good grades. You think that ideology is going to serve you for the rest of your life? If you actually genuinely think so, then just click off this video. There's no need for me to even try to convince you. But if you're a normal human being, then you should think about what I'm saying and be why? It's kind of silly that I've never thought about that. Fact is, whatever food you're giving yourself is affecting how you're performing even at school. And so since we established now that your diet can change the way you perform and the grades you get in school, the first thing you need to do is design your diet in order to become a high-performing student. And so step number one that I recommend to most people that have helped kind of change their diet and become better students and just better people in general is, first of all, just cut off the processed foods. A good definition that I like to use is anything that I don't exactly know every single ingredient that it's made of, right? So if I was to go to Walmart or something, right, and I was to get white bread, just toast, right? Do I exactly know every single ingredient in that bread? Lucky for us, we have something called an ingredient list on the back of every single thing that we buy. And so if you read any ingredient that you don't understand, right? If it just says water, wheat flour, salt, okay, I know what those are. But chances are 99.9% of things that you buy from grocery stores, you don't know every single ingredient in there. You have some colorings like red 40 or yellow 2 or something, I don't know. Either way, you've probably seen it before if you've checked the ingredient list of something that you're eating. But if you have to search the ingredient and see what it actually is, then most likely it's not good for you. And so that's level 1. That's going from level 0 to level 1. And so if you're eating processed foods, you're at level 0. If you're eating Pop-Tarts for breakfast, you're level -10 rev. So just ditch the bread and whatever else that you're eating, like cereal and Pop-Tarts. And generally everything that you're it's not a one ingredient item, just don't have it. It's the best thing just to at least you're taking, I'm taking beef and I'm taking eggs and I'm taking corn or something, right? And you're individually mixing single ingredients together to make your own meal. That's when okay, I'm actually eating real food. If you just have this one rule to eliminate processed foods, and especially very ultra processed foods, then you're already gonna change how your brain feels. You're gonna have less of that brain fog, and you're gonna be able to focus more. So now that you've gone to level 1, you're probably better than like 90% of people at least already, right? Which sounds insane. But going to level 2 now is gonna be a bit harder, right? And so what I want you to do is work fasted. I want you to do your work fasted. And so I know you're probably used to just eating breakfast as soon as you wake up. But the thing is, bro, when you eat, your body's allocating so much energy to your digestive system, to your stomach and intestine, so that you can actually digest your food. And it's not like a simple process. It requires a lot of energy. And so if you're using, like, let's say 60% of your energy, even 40% of your energy to digest, how much energy do you have left to put towards your brain? How much of the nutrients and the ATP and whatever is going to go to your brain in order to actually do your work? That's exactly why after a meal, you just feel like, oh man, like I'm so dead, but I just want to take a nap. And it's like your eyes are shutting off. It's like that's your body response. It's like it's called the parasympathetic nervous system, where it's like the rest and digest, right? It's literally coupled together, digest and rest. The smartest thing to do is get most of your work done early in the morning so that you can still break your fast, around 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. I currently break my fast around like 4 to 5 p.m. and I can't remember the last time I've broken my fast before noon or 1 p.m. And that's just because I like to just elongate it a bit more and I can handle it. But I just like fasting for a decent amount of time, just so I at least get a good chunk of my work done early in the morning. Right now it's 7:30 a.m. and I'm fasted and I'm recording these videos. I'm not going to record these. I can't remember the last time I've recorded a video when I was after I've had a meal. Because everyone watching will tell a difference. If I'm digesting and I'm feeling lethargic, I'm not going to be performing as well as I want to be. And so generally, just tomorrow or today, if you haven't eaten yet, just try fasting 3 hours more than you are right now. Just 3 hours. So if you eat breakfast at 8, just eat at 11. And do your work before you actually eat, right? Do your work before you have to go to school if you have to. If you're going to school early, wake up early, do 1 hour, 2 hours of deep work, finish the work that you have to do at like 7 a.m. instead of doing it at 5 p.m. when you come back from your classes. And so now that we've gone to level 2, going to level 3 is changing the type of foods that we eat and the timing of the day. And so this level, I know most people watching are not going to follow because they're going to think it's too extreme. But this is a challenge just to see which people watching are actually going to commit to this and at least try it to see if it works for them or not. But in order to get to level 3, what you need to do now is change the type of macronutrients that you eat throughout the day. And so what I mean by this are the macronutrients are proteins, fats, and carbs, right? What I want you to do is have your first meal of the day, when you break your fast, make that consist of mainly proteins and fats. And basically don't have carbs in the first meal of the day. I know you're used to having Pop-Tarts and cereal and whatever else, like a sandwich. But what if you were to change that to like eggs, right? Or like eggs with a bit of meat, with a bit of beef. But if you generally stick to this protein and fat breakfast, you're still gonna have this prolonged effect of like being at least somewhat focused on task. But if you just start your breakfast with like a bunch of carbs, you've lost the entire day. You've lost the rest of the day. If you break your fast, even if you fast for a bit and you break it at 1 p.m., from 1 p.m. until the time you sleep, you're not getting any quality work done. But I've generally found that when I eat proteins and fats and leave my carbs until the end of the day, then I get to still at least do a lot of the shallow tasks that I need to do that don't require too much energy, but like still require me to actually show up and do the task. But if I'm eating carbs, I'm like, well, I'm ready to take a nap, just sit and watch Netflix, watch some YouTube, and just not do anything else. And because when you eat a bunch of protein, it's also going to make you feel light and it's going to fill you up faster. So you don't have to eat as much and you're not filling up your stomach as much. And now another tip, and this is something that like 0.001% of people watching might do, is just produce your carbs in general. Don't have extra carbs that you don't need. Like if you're training and whatever and you're actually exercising, yeah, have an adequate amount depending on how much you train. But if you're having 200 plus grams, but you're not moving around, you're just having it just because it tastes good, then you're just gonna have this extra brain fog. My top priority is getting good grades and also recording content. So it's a lot of like brain stimulating tasks. If my main focus was to get bigger in the gym and to like run more and just exercise more, then yeah, I would definitely include a lot more carbs because that would help me reach my top priority. I'm not saying I don't go to the gym. I go to the gym 5 times a week and I exercise every single day, at least some type of exercise. But it's not a top priority. Even if I make little progress, I'm very content with that right now. And so it depends on your season of life. If you're watching this, your top priority most likely is to be a good student, to get the best grades possible. And so you need to structure your lifestyle to order to get to the top priority. You're gonna have to sacrifice some of your bodybuilding or whatever else that you have going on in your life. And so you need to structure your diet, your exercise, your sleep, and your whole day to actually make you get the best grades possible. So basically, if you want to know my exact diet right now, is I wake up at like 5 a.m., right? And I don't break it. Let's say I do break it at like 4 p.m. earliest, right? And so then I'll have a bunch of beef, ground beef, just because it's cheap, but also I just like the way it tastes. And also just a bunch of eggs. And also have like some pickles, so which is just like fermented cucumbers. So that's 3 ingredients so far, right? Because we're really trying to focus on this whole food diet. And that's exactly the main idea of this video, just to ditch all these processed foods. And so, yeah, beef, eggs, and pickles, that's like the first meal of the day. And then I'll end the day, it depends when I have the second thing. It's not really much of a meal, it's more of a snack. But it's gonna be like Greek yogurt, so that's 4 ingredients so far. And I'll have it with a bunch of blueberries. And so that's kind of like my first carb of the day. Pickles have a little bit of carbs, but they're generally really low calorie, and so they're really filling. And then I'll have honey as well. I'll have an orange and a kiwi. And so my entire diet is 8 ingredients. I challenge anyone here to have a diet less than 8 ingredients, and then comment down below. As it's gonna be really sick to see, but if you're even eating just bread that you buy at the grocery store, that alone has 40 ingredients. And if you want to learn exactly how you can get good grades and how to become a productive student, then just check out my course. It's the first link in the description, and I'll see you there.